I've said this in recent times. We see proposals go back and forth. The players sent the latest proposal on Friday night. We don't know the exact details. There's been no response from the WNBA as of yet, but I feel like a lot of people can rock with this sentiment. I don't understand why we don't just get
in a room and iron it out and shake hands. Caitlin Clark just said what everyone's been thinking. And the fact that she had to say it out loud in February 2025, with a March 10th deadline looming, tells you everything about where these CBA negotiations actually stand. Because here's what's happening behind the scenes. The players submitted their latest proposal on Friday night. The league hasn't responded. And instead of sitting across a table from each other, both sides are trading proposals through lawyers and PR statements while the clock runs down. It's the kind of negotiating strategy that makes sense if you're trying to buy a house. It makes zero sense when you're trying to save a season.
And shake hands, Fever guard Caitlin Clark said. That's how business is. You look each other in the eye, you shake hands, you respect both sides. For me, that's what I would love to see. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, okay, people can put weird Valentine's memes online or say a proposal is unrealistic or whatever, or trade proposals back and forth, moving a percentage point, 2 percentage points. This is so significant. Like, it's hard to say anybody's doing everything they can if they don't do that.
That's not just a rookie offering her opinion. That's the player who drove 3.2 million viewers to watch Fever games last season. That's the face of the league's explosive growth, saying the adults need to act like adults. And notice what she emphasized. You look each other in the eye, you shake hands, you respect both sides. The respect part matters, because when you read between the lines of these negotiations, there's a pattern emerging. Proposals sent at 10 p.m. on Friday nights, counteroffers delivered through media leaks instead of direct communication, public statements that sound cooperative but contain subtle jabs. This isn't how parties negotiate when they trust each other. This is how they operate when the relationship has already broken down.
And Breanna Stewart, by the way, agreed with Caitlin Clark and said, I think that would be great for all of us to sit in a room until we really get it done. That means sitting in there for hours and hours at a time. Let's do it. That's for the better of the player. While a situation like that has never happened before, there's a first time for everything. So the players, for the most...
And Breanna Stewart immediately backed her up. I think that would be great for all of us to sit in a room until we really get it done. That means sitting there for hours and hours at a time. Let's do it. Two of the biggest names in basketball, from different generations, saying the exact same thing within minutes of each other. That's not a coincidence. That's coordination. Because right now, all these players are together for the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Stewart, Clark, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, the core of Team USA, but also some of the most important voices in the Players Association. They're in the same building, eating the same meals, talking between practice sessions, and what Clark said publicly is almost certainly what they've been saying privately.
And of course, Breanna Stewart and Kelsey Plum had sent the letter. They're part of the executive committee for the players. And Kelsey Plum and Caitlin Clark seem to be getting along from USA camp. There's been a bunch of stuff being shared about those two. And what a backcourt, by the way. Not bad.
This is where the Team USA camp becomes strategically significant. It's not just about basketball preparation, it's about leverage. Think about the NBA precedent. Free agency decisions have been made at Olympics because players get face time away from team executives and agents. They talk, they align, they build consensus. The same dynamic is happening right now with the WNBA's CBA situation. You've got Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart, who literally sent the letter to the league on behalf of the executive committee. You've got Caitlin Clark, whose presence alone changes the financial equation of any negotiation. You've got Angel Reese, who represents the next generation of stars with their own leverage. They're all together, they're all unified, and they're all sending the same message: stop the procedural games and get in a room. That's not happening by accident. That's a coordinated pressure campaign, and it's smart. Because if the league sees this level of unity, this level of public support for direct negotiation, it makes a work stoppage look increasingly likely if they don't respond. The March 10th deadline might have some wiggle room built in. Maybe it's a soft deadline meant to create urgency with flexibility on the back end. But here's what we know for certain. Every day that passes without direct negotiation is a day closer to players making contingency plans. And when you see Caitlin Clark, who's been largely quiet on labor issues, speaking this directly about the process, that tells you the patience is running out.
altogether.
Caitlin, what makes this debut special for you?
Man, I think, this is every kid's dream. I think I wrote it down when I was in like third grade. So I'm just excited about this opportunity. And I remember Kara Callan talking to us, like when me and Paige, and I know AB isn't here, but even I played with Ryan on the U19 team. Like on the junior national teams, there's only going to be like a couple of you that end up making it to make a senior debut. So whether that's the World Cup, whether the World Cup qualifier, whether that's, the Olympics, every single part of it and part of the journey is really special. So I know we're a ways away even from the World Cup and obviously a ways away from the Olympics, but this is still really exciting in itself. And kind of
Look at that interaction. Kelsey Plum and Caitlin Clark laughing together, building chemistry on and off the court. And yes, that backcourt would be absolutely lethal in international play. But watch what's happening in the background of all this Team USA content. These aren't just basketball relationships being built. These are labor relationships. Plum is on the executive committee negotiating with the league. Clark is the player with the most individual leverage in the entire WNBA. And they're spending hours together every day in practice, in film sessions, in downtime. You think they're not talking about the CBA? You think Plum isn't explaining the player's position to someone who can move public opinion with a single quote? This is how consensus gets built. Not in formal union meetings, but in moments like this. Casual conversations that turn into strategic alignment. And when you see Clark come out and make that statement about getting in a room, you can trace the line directly back to these interactions.
She touched on in the lead up.
it's definitely been a while since I played a game. And obviously I played in the camp we had in December and then, doing everything I can to simulate as much live play in training and pickup and things like that, but nothing will quite emulate this type of environment. So I think it'll probably take me a second to knock a little bit of the rust off. I'll probably be a little bit nervous, which I usually don't get nervous, but that probably just will come from, I haven't really played basketball in a while. So I'm sure like after the first minute of running around on the court, I'll be just fine. But more than anything, just really excited. I know how much work and how much time I've put in to make sure my body's as healthy as it can be and to get back not only to a point where I feel like I'm myself, but I feel like I'm even better than, where I was at the beginning of last season. And I started off the season really well before I was hurt and tried to play through being hurt. So more than anything, just excited to be out there, be surrounded by a lot of really good players and, do whatever.
This is every kid's dream. I wrote it down when I was in third grade. And there's genuine emotion in her voice when she talks about wearing the USA uniform. This matters for what comes next, because Caitlin Clark just spent 7 months being the center of a media firestorm. Rookie of the Year campaign, playoff run, endless controversy about fouls and physical play, and whether the league was protecting her enough. She dealt with think pieces about her impact on the game, debates about her shooting percentages, scrutiny of every word she said in press conferences. It was exhausting just to watch. Living it had to be 10 times worse. And now she gets to step away from all that. She gets to be part of something bigger than the Indiana Fever's win-loss record. She gets to represent her country, play alongside legends, chase a gold medal. This should be pure basketball joy. No drama, no controversy, just hooping at the highest level, except she can't fully escape it, because the CBA situation follows her to Team USA camp. The deadline follows her. The possibility that there might not be a WNBA season follows her. And instead of just focusing on international competition, she's being asked about labor negotiations and whether the league will exist in its current form come May.
Season really well before I was hurt and tried to play through being hurt. So more than anything, just excited to be out there, be surrounded by a lot of really good players and, do whatever I can to help us win.
So I think people are obviously excited to see Caitlin Clark back on the floor. Let's heed her words and make sure it's not a long break between when she plays for Team USA and when she's back.
It's definitely been a while since I played a game, 7 months between competitive games. That's the WNBA offseason in a nutshell. And listen to how she describes her preparation. Training, pickup games, trying to simulate live action. But nothing quite replicates actual competition. She mentions being hurt last season, playing through injury, using this time to get her body right. That's the subtext nobody wants to talk about in these CBA negotiations. The current schedule, the current recovery time, the current off-season structure, it's not built for the kind of year-round intensity that the league is now demanding from its stars. Clark played a full college season, went immediately into the WNBA with no break, dealt with a plantar fascia injury that she played through, finished the season in September, and now she's suiting up for Team USA in February. When does the body actually recover? When does the mental fatigue get addressed? The players are asking for a bigger revenue share, yes, But they're also asking for a schedule that doesn't destroy their bodies by age 27. And she's nervous. She admits it. I usually don't get nervous, but that probably just will come from I haven't really played basketball in a while. That's not a lack of confidence. That's honesty about what 7 months away from game action does to your rhythm, your timing, your feel for live competition. Here's what makes this Team USA camp significant. Beyond just the basketball, these players are together. They're unified, and they're watching to see how the league responds to their proposal. Caitlin Clark made the ask publicly. Get in a room and negotiate face-to-face. Breanna Stewart backed her up immediately. The executive committee has already sent their latest offer. The ball is in the league's court, and the silence is deafening. No public response, no announcement of negotiating sessions, no indication that the league is taking the direct approach that their two biggest stars just publicly requested. That silence is a choice. It's a strategy. And it's the kind of strategy that makes a work stoppage more likely, not less. Think about what a strike would mean right now. The league just had its best season in history. Ratings up across the board, attendance records shattered, expansion teams paying $20 million for the privilege of joining. The momentum is undeniable, and the players know that. They know their leverage has never been higher. They know the league can't afford to lose this moment. But the league also knows something the players might be underestimating. Corporate America has a long history of letting momentum die rather than setting precedents they consider dangerous. If the WNBA ownership group believes that giving players 50% of revenue creates a model that undermines their long-term control, they might be willing to sacrifice a season to avoid it. They might calculate that they can rebuild the momentum in 2026, but they can't undo a CBA structure they consider unfavorable. That's the game of chicken happening right now. The players are betting the league won't risk killing the golden goose. The league is betting the players won't actually walk away from their paychecks and their platform. And both sides are using the March 10th deadline as a pressure point to force the other to blink first. Caitlin Clark's comments cut through all of that. She's essentially saying, this doesn't have to be a game of chicken. You can just talk to each other like professionals and find a middle ground. It's almost naive in its simplicity, but she's not wrong. The best negotiations happen when both parties actually want to reach an agreement more than they want to win the PR battle. The question is whether anyone's actually listening. Because if the league responds to Clark's request by scheduling direct negotiations, that's a sign they're serious about getting a deal done. If they respond with another carefully worded statement about ongoing discussions and productive